Have you taken a seat on the merry-go-round of intelligence discussions that are all the rage these days? Up and down we go, going nowhere, as we travel in endless circles of overnight experts earnestly warning us, cajoling us to get on the bandwagon, and shaping our formless landscape of artificial intelligence. Let's get one thing straight. I'm not jockeying for a place in that crowd of voices. Heck, I think intelligence, whatever that is, because there are lots of ways to define it, is often overrated. And that's to say nothing about this vague quagmire of philosophical fuzziness dredged up when we endeavor to put our computing prowess to work in imitating intelligence artificially. You see, in one thought, we're already all over the place. Before we get to the crux of the matter, let me throw my 2 cents into the AI conversation. A tool is a tool. Is there such a thing as a ubiquitous, be-all, end-all tool of tools? I don't think so. And I don't think there ever will or could be. I think we're enamored with the idea that there could be a tool of all tools. Come on, let's be honest. It's a seductive proposition that any of us can be easily drawn into. But what if we were to focus this AI potential within a specific domain? Consider it a domain-specific interrogator, consolidator, and synthesizing curator of data. In lieu of using AI across multiple domains, we could limit its pool of query data to a specialized, boundaried area. Now, AI becomes a multimodal search tool that finds and highlights patterns that would otherwise either never be found or take us a really long time to uncover. It would be like having an army of research assistants who, from a sharply well-developed prompt, can scan through libraries of information to produce meta-analyses worthy of publication in premier research journals, and do all of this at lightning-fast speeds. Okay, I hope I got the AI diatribe out of my system, but there's really some things for us to reflect on. What is organizational intelligence? It's not artificial, it's really about the people. And I would argue that it's people's sensitivities and connections in the organization with each other, and of course people being connected to themselves such that they're able to bring their best, their A game, as much as they possibly can. That's what makes the organization intelligent and able to react and respond to the challenges of the market, to the internal challenges, to politics and practices and processes and all the things that kind of are part and parcel of organizational dynamics. Now, let's use another AI example. I was reading an article recently that was discussing the future of recruiting and the role that AI can play. And I think we can all imagine AI, perhaps a chat bot, making it easier for an applicant to provide the information, perhaps maybe even making a better applicant experience by virtue of some type of chat kind of technology that would have some machine learning, some little quote-unquote intelligence behind it. This article was going further than all that. They were beginning to discuss the future, whereby perhaps instead of talking to a senior recruiter, you would have your first conversation with a chatbot that then would be able to ascertain, based on the hiring manager and the team, what the real needs were for the organization and whether you were a good match or not. Goodness gracious, that couldn't be as far from intelligence as you could possibly get. And why is that? Well, because there's something about how we show up intentionally. There's something about how we show up in those intangible ways that you can never really quite program. Let me try another analogy. Think back, if you happen to have this experience, of auditioning for a play, and imagine the room full of very cold, very sterile people just looking to see if you can mechanically deliver some lines, if you have the basic moves of your body to be effective in whatever choreography or whatever staging they might have. And everybody's sort of scrutinizing, and they're really not there to enjoy you or to see you succeed. And it's a very artificial experience, auditioning. And you get different responses from people. Some people learn how to just disconnect from that kind of scrutiny and come forward and show their technical skills and their prowess, and are able to turn it into a successful experience, and even win an audition, win a spot in a show. However, if we look at kind of the emotion of that whole experience, it's very off-putting. It's very hard to come actually with your A game unless you're being completely mechanical with it. And why is that? And that's because we thrive on human connections. And we also thrive with a kind of sensitivity and intelligence. And while perhaps the auditioning panel is doing their best to be as objective as possible and not kind of lead you on, if you will, they are in the back of their minds imagining you in the role of this character. And more importantly, they're imagining, well, what's the chemistry? What are the dynamics between the other people that we might cast? And in fact, when you get a call back, frequently what happens is they'll have you read the part with different people so that they can begin to get a sense of that. So even in the artificial world of an audition, which is a play that is restricted to what's on the words that have been scripted by the playwright, there's even there this need to understand connection. Well, how much more is that need for connection the source of intelligence in our organization? So there's connection and there's sensitivity. And I would argue that organizational intelligence is about how we turn up the game such that people are connecting and people are attuning to themselves and one another in ever new ways. And by the way, story-based communication skills, story-based development of your leaders is one of the best tools in your arsenal for how to up the intelligence of your organization through sensitivity and connection. Look forward to talking to you.